In this video, we'll be learning about how freight brokers get paid. We'll cover the parties that are involved, what's important to each of them, and what you can do to improve on both sides of the negotiations. I'm Benjamin Kowalski with Freight 360, where we provide the latest transportation sales tips and training videos to help you reach your goals faster. If you're new here, make sure you go ahead and hit the subscribe button to be notified when we drop our weekly videos. And all of the links and details will be found in the description box below. For more free content, please be sure to check out our website, freight360.net, to access our entire library. As a freight broker, you are an intermediary between a shipper and a motor carrier, meaning that freight brokers are essentially middlemen, where the shipper is at the top of the transaction, the broker is in the middle, and the carrier is at the bottom. Now, this is in terms of how the money flows, not by importance. Now, how does that help you understand how you'll get paid as a freight broker? Well, first we need to know who's involved before we can explain how and what each party is responsible for. Now that you know the players, we can dig into the money. Each load or shipment is negotiated by the freight broker and the shipper, and also between the carrier and the freight broker. The first piece we'll cover is one that typically happens first, the negotiation with the shipper. Now, what is the goal of a shipper when hiring a freight broker? It's to have a shipment moved during a specific amount of time, safely and securely, but also at the lowest possible cost without giving up those things I just mentioned. So it's our job as a broker to negotiate the highest rate we can under the circumstances. So for example, if the average rate on a lane is, we'll say $2,000, right? A shipper will do what they can to pay at or below that number, right? It's our job to push that as high as they're willing to spend so that you can secure a carrier that will fulfill their requirements of time, equipment, and safety. Just like anything else in life, we get what we pay for. So the more money we have to secure a carrier, the more likely we'll be able to find one that's reliable and also has properly serviced equipment. Also, our margin, what we actually earn as a freight broker, is made up of the difference between what we'll be able to charge and what we'll be able to pay the carrier. Now, negotiating with the carrier will determine how much we'll earn on this particular shipment now, right? We've already negotiated with the shipper. The last part is negotiating with the carrier. So we have our top line number. We're working on what we're gonna pay. Carriers, they have two main priorities: how much they're making or charging, and which direction they're willing to go. These priorities will change based on the day of the week and whether or not the carrier has another load they've committed to. When they begin their week, it typically won't matter where they're headed, as long as they're maxing out the money they can charge per mile. As the week progresses and they need to finish their week to get home, where they're headed begins to matter more. So the better we are at negotiating those two variables, the more money the freight broker can make. The more trust you build with your customers, the more loads you deliver without issue, and the better you communicate, the less price sensitive your customers, the shippers, will tend to be, increasing your top line or gross sales. Now, the better you get at building carrier relationships, negotiating with them, and providing value, the lower you'll be paying for coverage, and the bigger your gross profit margin will be. That's what it's all about: providing additional value to both your customers and your carriers, and earning a fair margin for doing so. That's it, right? If you'd like more on this and other topics, be sure to subscribe to our channel and leave a comment below. Would love to hear from you on topics you'd like us to cover in upcoming videos. And remember, whether you believe you can or believe you can't, you're right.